I am here with Ji and Soto, who are local flippers and builders here in Nashville, and we're going to do a deal review. So the deal that you guys have in mind, how did y'all find this deal?
It came in through our email.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a wholesaler send it.
And is this a wholesaler you'd worked with before, or how did that come about?
At the time, he was pretty active, and he had to send. We had closed several deals with that person already.
Is he sending this to y'all first, or is he sending it to multiple people?
It depends on the deal.
Yes.
It depends on the deal. There have been some that they send just strictly to us first, and then if we're like, hey, no, it's too far or it's not what we're looking for, like, okay, we'll send it out.
Yeah, but on this deal specifically, it got sent out to us, and it got sent out to a lot of people.
Okay.
But I do want to say that we were the first. We were in there with the photographer. So,
Oh, wow.
So sometimes it's not if you get it sent to you specifically, but if you can get there first, look at it first, and get ahead of everybody else.
So it was sent to a handful of people, or a decent amount of people, and y'all were just the fastest to respond to it.
Yeah. I think we even came out on the advertisement
pictures.
That's awesome. There's a lesson right there. And okay, so you made an offer. What did you guys pay for it?
So we paid $97,000 for this property. ARV at the time was, if I can remember properly, it was around 200 to 210. So immediately we're like, okay, let's go look at the property. Let's see if it needs a ton of work. If it needs a ton of work and we can't match the comps, then it's probably not going to be a deal.
When you're looking at it and you're figuring out how much work it was going to take, did you walk it with a contractor, or you just kind of ballpark of like, this is how much we think it's going to take? How did that process look of determining what the renovation would be?
Yeah, we walked it ourselves. We've done several where we kind of know what to look for and which area of the house to bounce on, So we did notice something huge about the house. The crawl space had like 2 feet of water. You could kind of see
really
in the
bad.
darkness some cracks around the walls. But you couldn't really get there because of the water. So we did negotiate that price.
Okay.
We actually negotiated down to the 97. I don't think that was the initial
Correct.
price
I
they sent it
believe
out.
Okay.
it was somewhere in like the 105 range
Okay.
that they initially started out. So then we negotiated because of the foundation issues. So we knew it was going to take more money to fix.
Yep.
But I guess one plus of Jose starting out in construction is that we aren't scared of these issues per se. We like to go in there and we're like, okay, if it has a foundation issue, it's just one more thing we have to do. It's not a problem.
What did you guys estimate the renovation was going to be, if you remember?
Yeah, I remember exactly.
Oh, man.
We were around 50.
Okay.
We ended up spending 27.
Wow. What made you think it was going to end up being 50?
The foundation.
Okay. So you just weren't sure what the foundation was going to be, so you added a lot.
Yeah. So we ended up taking one of the big companies. They sent their engineers, and it ended up being perfectly fine. So there was just some like drainage issues that we fixed. I mean, we paid 2 guys 2 days worth of work, and it was perfectly fine.
Wow, that's a great surprise.
It's a great
Usually on
surprise.
flips, the surprises are terrible.
Well, yeah, exactly. So we go in, we look at the house. There's 2 feet of water in the crawl space. We're like, no, this thing is bad. We're literally calculating $20,000 of work on foundation, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
The rest of the house didn't need a whole lot. I think we did a full bathroom rehab. We kind of went over the kitchen. We didn't do a whole lot there. Paint, lighting, floors. But the surprise was actually good. After we cleaned all the water out, cleaned everything, we had it inspected, and it turns out that it was completely solid. It just had a water issue. Yeah.
Man, if I see water in a crawl space, I
You're
get very
running.
nervous. Yeah.
And that water had been there for years.
Yeah, yeah.
You could tell.
I would immediately think replacing. I mean, was the water from a sewer leak or a water leak?
No, just
rain?
from the
Drainage.
rain coming
Wow.
in.
I would immediately think there's a huge issue with the sewer.
Yeah, it's just
Oh,
drainage.
no. It didn't smell like anything bad. It was just like every time it rained, it added to the...
Wow.
Level, yeah.
Wow. 97 purchase, 27
Yep, 27 rehab.
the rehab.
Correct.
And then what did you guys end up selling it for?
So it was a good surprise that a property a couple of doors down had sold for $250.
Wow.
Barely rehabbed. So like when we were in the planning stages, the property had just sold. So I told him, I'm like, we were planning on doing a little bit more to the house, but I'm like, let's not over rehab if this house just sold. So we ended up just painting cabinets, redoing floor paint. We did redo the whole bathroom and fixing that foundation downstairs. And we sold it for $257.5.
Wow. So it's a very healthy spread.
Really great spread. We profited $120,000 from that property.
A lot of it comes from finding the deal, which it sounds like y'all had built the relationship with the wholesaler over time. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Also, it's the risk that you take. This house is not here, in Nashville where everybody is looking to buy.
Yeah.
This
Where
house
was
is
it?
in Portland, Tennessee,
Okay.
45 minutes away from here.
Yep.
It's like one of 7 houses in that street. There's cornfields everywhere. Like you wouldn't think that people want to live there or that there's a high market for that type of house. But we took that risk. We bought it. We knew exactly what we needed to do, which was in this case to not over rehab and budget for that big ticket item, which is the foundation issue, which to us it worked out perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were able to walk out with $120,000 profit.
That's incredible.
It took 11 days.
Yeah. Also,
What?
yes. Done in 11. It's so far away that we didn't want to go back and forth for a whole month. So we would stay there till 11 p.m., making sure that if the guys had any questions, they didn't have to leave and come back the next day and ask those questions. So we make sure we were there, make sure they had all the material. We don't do this with every project, but when we saw that there was a high profit,
Yeah.
we made sure to get it done quick.
That's incredible. Congrats on that deal.
Yeah.
It did last on the market quite a bit.
Okay.
It lasted on the market from purchase to sell, I think it was about 4 months.
Oh,
It's still not that bad.
How long? So it sat on the market for 3 months or so?
About 2.5 months, I believe.
And
We had
that's-
one lowball offer,
Yeah.
but we rejected it immediately because I'm like, there's a little bit more potential to this.
We
Yeah.
also waited like 15 days for the owner of the house to find a place to go and move
Okay.
out. So it took some time.
And that the time on market is probably part of the risk of doing a deal that's more rural.
Correct.
But if you have enough spread and if you can float the carrying costs and if you can reno it in 11 days,
Yeah.
then you can protect yourself there. Would you say that there's a main lesson that y'all learned from this deal?
A main lesson.
So for me, I would say don't be afraid of going far from Nashville. I feel like a lot of people want to start in Nashville and they want to do things here, but there's great profits outside of Nashville as well. So I think that's one huge thing. I think that was our highest profit to date with flips. That was 45 minutes away. It sucked. Going over there really was awful. That's what I would say. Don't be afraid to go far.
Main lesson with this deal, we didn't put a penny for this house.
Jeez.
We used hard money lending and we used private to gap the funds. So we were in it for nothing. So that was huge for me. I've used hard money lending before, but I've never made $120,000 without having to put any of my own money. So
Yeah.
that opened up a lot of things for me in my head. So
Yeah. And
that was a huge lesson.
Do you mind describing the structure of like how much did the hard money lender do? How much did the private? You don't have to give the terms what you paid, but how that was structured.
Yeah, I'll let my wife answer that.
So I don't know exact numbers, but I can tell you a little bit more of the structure. They give us 90% of the purchase, and depending on what the comps are, they'll give us up to like 70%. So we were able to get full rehab, no problem.
Okay.
So we got, the only thing that we gapped, or like the private money gapped, was that 10% plus
Okay.
closing costs. So it wasn't that much money, but still, I mean, no money in the deal is always good.
That's incredible. Thank you guys for being on here and talking through the deal. In addition, you guys do one-on-one coaching.
In regards to the one-on-one, we do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, just message him, soto.pelias on his Instagram, and we can send you the questionnaire to see if you'd be a good fit for our mentorship.